Have you ever wondered why your zodiac sign is associated with a particular symbol or what its origin story is? In this video, we'll be exploring each of the 12 zodiac signs, their unique characteristics, and their fascinating origins rooted in Greek mythology. Whether you're a die-hard believer in astrology or just curious about the zodiac, this video is sure to provide some interesting insights and knowledge about these signs that shape our lives. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac and is associated with the symbol of the ram. It is said to represent new beginnings, courage, and energy. According to Greek mythology, Aries is associated with the golden fleece that Jason and the Argonauts set out to find. The leader of the Argonauts was Jason, who had been promised the throne of his kingdom if he could retrieve the golden fleece. He gathered a group of skilled warriors and sailors, including Hercules, Orpheus, and Theseus, and they set out on their ship, the Argo. During their journey, the Argonauts faced many challenges and obstacles, including battling fierce monsters, navigating treacherous waters, and facing the wrath of the gods themselves. Finally, the Argonauts reached the land of Colchis, where the golden fleece was kept. The king of Colchis, Aeetes, refused to give up the fleece, so Jason had to perform a series of impossible tasks to prove his worthiness. With the help of Medea, the king's daughter, Jason was able to complete the tasks and retrieve the golden fleece. The Argonauts then set sail for home, but they faced even more challenges, including a deadly storm and attacks from the gods themselves. However, with the help of Medea's magical powers, they were able to overcome these obstacles and return home safely. The story of Jason and the Argonauts is often interpreted as a symbol of the power of teamwork, courage, and determination. It also highlights the importance of loyalty and the value of relying on others in times of need. The second sign in the zodiac is Taurus, which is depicted as the bull. Taurus is said to represent determination, stability, and strength. In Greek mythology, there is a story of Zeus, the king of the gods, transforming himself into a beautiful white bull in order to seduce a mortal woman named Europa. One day, while Europa was gathering flowers in a meadow, Zeus saw her and was struck by her beauty. He then transformed himself into a bull and approached her, appearing gentle and friendly. Europa was charmed by the bull and eventually climbed onto its back. Zeus then ran off with Europa, carrying her across the sea to the island of Crete. Once they arrived, Zeus revealed his true identity to Europa and they became lovers. From their union, 3 sons were born, including Minos, who would become the legendary king of Crete. The story of Zeus and Europa has been a popular subject in art and literature throughout history, symbolizing the seductive power of beauty and the unpredictable nature of the gods. Gemini is associated with the symbol of the twins and is the third zodiac sign. Gemini is said to represent versatility, communication, and intellectualism. Castor and Pollux were twin brothers in Greek mythology who were known as the Dioscuri. Castor was a skilled horseman, while Pollux was an expert boxer. They were considered the patrons of sailors and were often called upon for protection during sea voyages. According to the myth, Castor and Pollux were the sons of Leda, who was seduced by Zeus in the form of a swan. As a result, the twins were half mortal and half divine. In one story, Castor and Pollux set out on a quest to rescue their sister, Helen, who had been kidnapped by the Trojan prince Paris. During the battle, Castor was mortally wounded, but because Pollux was divine, he was able to bring his brother back to life. In honor of their brotherly bond, Zeus placed Castor and Pollux in the sky as a constellation known as Gemini, which is visible in the northern hemisphere during the winter months. The story of Castor and Pollux has been a popular subject in art and literature, symbolizing the power of brotherhood and the strength of family ties. Cancer is the fourth zodiac sign and associated with the symbol of the crab. It is said to represent sensitivity, emotions, and nurturing. According to Greek mythology, during the second labor of Hercules, Hera, who was the wife of Zeus, sent a giant crab to attack Hercules while he was fighting the Hydra. The crab was said to be so large that it could crush a man with its claws. However, Hercules was able to defeat the crab by stepping on it and crushing it under his foot. As a reward for his victory, Hera placed the image of the crab in the night sky as a constellation known as Cancer, which is visible during the summer months. Leo is associated with the symbol of the lion and is the fifth zodiac sign. It is said to represent leadership, confidence, and creativity. In Greek mythology, the Nemean lion was a fierce and powerful creature that could not be killed with mortal weapons. According to the myth, the lion was said to be the offspring of Typhon and Echidna, two monstrous creatures. During the first labor of Hercules, he was tasked with killing the Nemean lion and bringing back its pelt. Hercules initially tried to kill the lion with his bow and arrow, but the arrows were unable to penetrate its skin. He then used his strength to strangle the lion to death. Hercules then skinned the lion using its own claws and returned to King Eurystheus with the pelt as proof of his victory. The Nemean lion became one of Hercules' most famous feats and is often depicted in art and literature as a symbol of strength and bravery. Virgo is the sixth zodiac sign and associated with the symbol of the maiden. Virgo is said to represent practicality, organization, and attention to detail. According to Greek mythology, Virgo is associated with the goddess Demeter, who was the goddess of agriculture and harvest. One of the most famous stories about Demeter involves her daughter, Persephone. Hades, the god of the underworld, fell in love with Persephone and kidnapped her to be his wife. Demeter was devastated by the loss of her daughter and searched the earth for her, neglecting her duties as the goddess of agriculture. During her search, Demeter found out that Persephone had visited the underworld and had eaten a pomegranate seed while she was there, which meant she would have to spend part of the year there as Hades' wife. Demeter was heartbroken by this news, but eventually came to a compromise with Hades. Persephone would spend 6 months in the underworld with Hades and 6 months on Earth with Demeter. This story is said to explain the changing of the seasons, as the 6 months Persephone spends in the underworld corresponds to the winter months. Demeter was worshipped as a benevolent goddess who provided a bountiful harvest for her people, and her story has been an important part of Greek mythology for centuries. Libra is the seventh zodiac sign. It is said to represent balance, harmony, and justice. In Greek mythology, Themis was the goddess of divine law and order. She was the daughter of Uranus and Gaia, and one of the Titans. One of the most famous stories involving Themis is the myth of the war between the Titans and the Olympians. According to the myth, Themis was one of the few Titans who did not take sides in the war. Instead, she acted as a mediator between the two groups, trying to prevent the conflict from escalating. After the Olympians emerged victorious, Themis was allowed to keep her position as the goddess of divine law and order. Themis remains an important figure in Greek mythology, representing the importance of order and justice in society. Scorpio is associated with the symbol of the scorpion and is the 8th sign in the zodiac. Scorpio is said to represent intensity, passion, and transformation. According to Greek mythology, Scorpio is associated with the giant scorpion that was sent by the goddess Artemis to kill Orion. According to the myth, Orion was a great hunter and a proud and boastful man. He claimed that he could kill any animal on Earth, which angered the goddess Gaia. In retaliation, Gaia sent a giant scorpion to kill Orion. The scorpion stung Orion with its venomous tail, and he fell to the ground, dying from the poison. In some versions of the myth, Orion was resurrected by the god of healing, Asclepius. In others, he was placed in the stars as a constellation, along with the scorpion that killed him. This is said to explain why the constellation Orion and the constellation Scorpio are on opposite sides of the sky, and why they can never be seen at the same time. Sagittarius is associated with the 9th symbol of the zodiac, the archer. It is said to represent adventure, optimism, and wisdom. In Greek mythology, Chiron was a wise and knowledgeable centaur who was renowned for his healing abilities and his skill in archery. According to the myth, Chiron was accidentally wounded by one of Hercules' poisoned arrows. As an immortal, Chiron could not die from the wound, but he suffered from excruciating pain that could not be cured. To relieve his pain, Chiron willingly gave up his immortality and traded places with Prometheus, who was bound to a rock and had his liver eaten by an eagle every day. Prometheus was then freed, and Chiron took his place, living out his days in agony. In some versions of the myth, Chiron was placed in the stars as the constellation Sagittarius, which is represented as a centaur holding a bow and arrow. The story of Chiron and Sagittarius is a testament to the value of wisdom and knowledge, and the importance of self-sacrifice for the greater good. Capricorn is associated with the symbol of the goat and is the 10th zodiac sign. It is said to represent ambition, discipline, and responsibility. Capricorn is associated with the god Pan, who is half goat and half man. Pan was known for his mischievous and playful nature, and he was often depicted playing his pan flute and chasing after nymphs in the woods. One of the most famous myths involving Pan tells the story of his pursuit of the nymph Syrinx. According to the myth, Syrinx was a follower of the goddess Artemis, and when Pan saw her, he immediately fell in love with her. Syrinx, however, did not share Pan's feelings, and she fled into the woods to escape him. Pan chased after her, but just as he was about to catch her, she prayed to the gods for help. The gods answered her prayers by turning her into a reed. Pan was heartbroken when he found that Syrinx had vanished, but he was so taken by the sound of the wind blowing through the reeds that he cut them down and fashioned them into a pan flute, which he played for the rest of his days. The story of Pan is a testament to the power of music and the beauty of nature, and serves as a reminder of the importance of playfulness and creativity in our lives. Aquarius is the 11th zodiac sign and associated with the symbol of the water bearer. It is said to represent originality, independence, and humanitarianism. In Greek mythology, there is a story about Zeus, the king of the gods, pouring water. The story goes that one day, Zeus invited all the gods to a banquet at his palace on Mount Olympus. At the banquet, Zeus had a beautiful golden cup, which he had received as a gift from the goddess of agriculture, Demeter. Zeus decided to test the intelligence of the other gods, and he filled the cup with water and asked them how heavy it was. The gods were puzzled and could not answer the question, as they did not know the weight of the cup. Zeus then revealed the answer, saying that the weight of the cup depended on how it was held. If it was held with an outstretched arm, it would be very heavy, but if it was held close to the body, it would be much lighter. Zeus then proceeded to pour the water from the cup, and it transformed into wine, which he shared with the other gods, creating a joyous and celebratory atmosphere. The story of Zeus pouring water is often interpreted as a lesson on the importance of intelligence and critical thinking, and the idea that knowledge can be used to create joy and celebration. Pisces is the 12th and final zodiac sign. It is associated with the symbol of the fish and is said to represent intuition, spirituality, and compassion. In Greek mythology, there is a story about the goddess Aphrodite and her son Eros, Cupid, who were carried across the sea by a magical fish. According to the myth, Aphrodite and Eros were fleeing from the monster Typhon, who was threatening the gods on Mount Olympus. They came to the shores of the Euphrates River, but they could not cross the water. A friendly fish saw their plight and offered to carry them across the river on its back. Aphrodite and Eros gratefully accepted the fish's offer, and they climbed onto its back. The fish then carried them across the river, through the waves and the currents, until they safely reached the other side. As a reward for its help, Aphrodite and Eros placed the fish among the stars, where it became the constellation Pisces. The story of the fish carrying Aphrodite and Eros is often interpreted as a symbol of the power of kindness and compassion, and the idea that even the smallest creatures can have a significant impact on the world around them. It also serves as a reminder of the importance of helping others in times of need, and the value of gratitude and appreciation for those who offer their assistance. In conclusion, the zodiac has been a fascinating part of human culture for thousands of years, and understanding the origin stories of the signs can help us better appreciate their significance in our lives. These myths have endured for centuries because they hold valuable lessons and insights into human nature and the world around us. Whether you believe in astrology or not, the zodiac can serve as a tool for self-reflection and understanding our strengths, weaknesses, and personalities. Thanks for watching Conceptua Learning Zodiac Signs, exploring the ancient myths and astrology behind their origins and meanings. Please like and subscribe for more content like this, and if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below.